Hey, I'm Big B and I Brick, and welcome to once again another edition of the Stellar Stream. Gonna give this a try, come back at the show or whatever. Second week in a row, see how it goes. Got with us this week, Great South Bricks.
How's it going?
Down in Georgia, correct?
Yeah.
And I just saw you are out of the pathway.
Oh, are we?
Looks like you got. Looks like that way, yeah. Well, I'm assuming you're not really far inland.
Oh,
You coastal?
no.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I'm like a hour south of Chattanooga.
Okay.
But we're
So
supposed to get a tropical storm Irma here.
Hope you do not get in there.
Yeah, that'd be great. Everything's canceled though around here.
Hope everything is fine and you have access to a lot of water damaged Lego.
Yes. Yes.
And we can actually, in the not trying to make light of tragedy or talk about ways to, make money off of tragedy, but these are things that happen after where there's mass amounts of flooding.
Mm-hmm.
You have stores that put stuff out there that are water damaged. One of the lucky things with Lego is that it comes in those sealed bags, and the water damage is just usually applies to the stickers, unless they're wrapped in that new plastic, the manuals, unless they're wrapped in that new plastic, and the boxes. I know a lot of people personally that have been able to get some huge quantities of sets that way. But they're only pretty much for part out because you have to deal with biological issues like mold.
Right.
So just,
No.
yeah, just sort of, wanted to touch on that. I know Bones had said that there was one store that they had down in Florida, southern Florida, that they were already ready to write off before the storm even hit.
Really?
Because they knew, I'm not sure why, but I assume it's because of, the elevation of the store or the infrastructure of the drains around there, or they've had a history of whatever. So.
They knew what they're about to get into then.
Yeah, it's a, hopefully everybody will be fine. But, yeah, it's a shame when this happens, but damage does occur.
Yeah. I messaged Julian earlier today, and he said he's going about an hour or 2 hours inland, so that's good.
Good. That's good to hear.
Down in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I saw that the storm had switched paths, and now on the Gulf side, and it's gonna go right through where my mother lives.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. We've got Kittenvilla Ranch, Ralph DeBrule, Bones, Just Another Brick Life, Xfinity, and BrickQuest, and Lego Freak in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who watches this after when it's live. Appreciate the support on that, and even more, I appreciate the questions that you guys ask, because it gives me something to talk about, because not always going to be able to get a guest in there. But what have you been up to? And can you hear my kids like jumping around upstairs and stuff?
No, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I think they're jumping rope up there.
Oh, really? Yeah,
maybe doing double punch or something.
Oh man, I've been finding a bunch of 50% off Lego this week. Bunch of onesies and twosies, which I usually don't buy, but when the part out's 3 or 4 times, I'm not gonna pass up on it.
Yeah. So that's some people had asked last week with me, like, what do I part out at? And I'm at 3 or 4 right now. That's where I go and get. I'm done shopping unless I'm getting 3x or 4x off it, because 3x and 4x happens so much more now than it used to, because essentially Lego's got that deal with Warner Brothers, and it seems like they're releasing whatever Warner Brothers tells them to.
Oh yeah.
And Warner Brothers with a lot of these sets seems to be trying to yank at some heartstrings of some AFOLs, and it seemed to have fallen through with the price point.
Which I was pretty surprised. Like the Gremlins that came out, I thought everybody about between my age and your age was going to go after that, and I've hardly seen anything. That and like
Yeah.
crap, like what's it called? Like the Doc Brown meme.
Like I'm looking forward to. I really thought a lot of these, like especially like Goonies and stuff like that, was going to be have this sort of iconic draw to it, and
didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen, and it might be because these Warner Brothers has had these deals with so many companies over the years that it's not the first time that this is happening. So it's only really the Lego heads in that genre, not other people, you know.
Right. No, that's right.
Good question from Xfinity in the chat, and this was my suspicion that I've yet to have confirmed by the administrative staff, but I will ask again for you. Hey, Big B, if I close my Bricklink store whilst I'm in Las Vegas, good use of the English language, will it affect appearing on feature lists when I reopen? And I asked the admin staff that exactly, and that was the reasoning for me to putting everything into my warehouse, whatever, taking it out of the store but leaving the store completely open while I was gone, was because of that. I didn't want to fear that, because they said in their formula initially when they made all of these changes like 3 years ago now, 2.5 years ago now, and basically they just took Bricklink and shook it up.
Yeah.
That was going to be a factor. So I don't know, but if you've got the time, effort, and whilst, yeah, just throw them into your store and just take them off for sale. You know, make use of, while you're doing it, if you want, even make use of those 3 different warehouses that you have. Willett, why aren't you in here, man? You should have an invite. I've recently, at one point I was like, what do you have these 3 stock rooms for? And I opened up the 3 stock rooms about 6 months ago, and right now I wish that they would let me have 20 stock rooms.
Really?
Because I'd be able to, or just let me put a note next to the stock room of why the hell it's in the stock room. You know, like Project X, Project Y, Project, ABC.
These are like, why did I put this in here? That was a year ago. I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, and he's also saying that it does say stores open for 6 months up here, so that could be a limiting factor. Well, it says it's not working, man. Let me try inviting you the new school way to see if that helps. Will it? I sent Will it the old school way with an email. Try.
Yeah, I think I just went straight to Google Hangouts to join in without an email, and I accidentally started calling people.
It's always been the most reliable for me.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm old.
No, it's all
right.
Without email, and I accidentally started calling people.
All right, we got Willett coming in. Mr. Willett, what's going on? Long time no see.
Oh, man. I think I overextended myself. I'm busier than I want to be.
I think it goes for all of us.
Turning up your input volume a little bit, Willett. If you have a case on your phone, it limits your mic.
Give me 1 second. I got to try to figure out my volume here.
All right, cool. I will answer a question in the meantime. Question from Just Another Brick Life. If you sell your parts at a 6-month average, how often do you readjust your prices, given that the prices generally go down? So this is all one of those up to you type of things. A lot of people rely upon the when I upload, it adjusts automatically. You can also go to the realm of more rarer parts or oddity parts that you do it when an order's placed. So after the order is placed, you go and refer to whatever the new 6-month average is, and then fill it in yourself. You can also, and this is another part that I wanted to discuss in length, but it takes some preparation time, so we'll probably do that next week, which is how to download your inventory, adjust the prices, and the quantities, because there was a question from Donnie about, or ABC Bricks, about how to modify your inventory of your entire stock because kids. That's one of the things all of us face is having kids, and that's one of the reasons why we have a Bricklink store, because our kids got us into it, and we're into it with our kids, and sometimes little hands go in the bins and pull stuff out, and sometimes big hands go in the bins and pull stuff out. And and
That's
what's a good, I know Willett's guilty of that as well. What's a good way to make those adjustments, and what's a fast way as well? And we're going to talk about both of those, the speed way through. And it all boils down to learning how to sort. If you figure out a method of how to sort of sort your stacks within Brickstock, not Bricklink, so everything is done within Brickstock, you breeze right through it.
So you have to buy the license, or it will.
You do, and you really should. If you're using Brickstock every single day, if you're using BrickSync or other programs like that every single day, and it's brought you in more than $10 or saved you more than 2 or 3 hours of time, go buy it, man. Support these people. Like, you're not going to see more stuff put into it, and you're not going to see the updates made when they need to be made if you don't support the author.
I'm going to interrupt you there once, Big B. I pay for the programs, and I've tried to use them, but I'm not a computer guy, and I can't.
You got to boost your volume again, or speak up a lot.
Son of a bitch. Good. I've paid for the programs, and I've tried to use them, but not being a computer guy, I don't understand how to synchronize and get everything into the programs.
Right. Well, are you talking about the BrickSync?
Correct.
What are you using to synchronize between BrickLink and BrickOwl?
Just the link they have in between the two stores. Because I started off using just BrickLink to upload all my inventory. And then when you go to use BrickSync, they got different numbers or different part numbers. And now with the size of my store, you can't. I'd say there's probably 10,000 or better items that ain't synchronized in between their settings.
Mm-hmm.
10,000 elements, or how many lots?
About 10,000 lots, because you got to go through discard.
Mm-hmm.
I might be mistaken by that. Don't quote me.
Because I've only got 500 lots that aren't synced between, and that's because I haven't taken the time to go over to BrickOwl and put the Lego number or or another commonly used and tracked number into BrickOwl's inventory. So once I do, it's almost instantly updated so that it's included. But we can probably do a BrickSync session as well if you want in a future week.
Yeah, that'd be something that I'd be interested in, because I got fed up with it because,
Well, how do you synchronize between the two of them now? Are you going in there manually and doing it?
No, whatever goes in the BrickOwl goes in there. Whatever's in my BrickLink goes in the BrickLink.
So you have two completely separate inventories?
No, everything's on their database.
Most of it's syncing, but some of it isn't. So there's going to be a syncing error with some of his orders that have those parts that do not sync. I have the same problem with Brick Picker. So
you guys talking about when you get in here and you run a BL master on?
Correct.
And then a BL master off?
Yes.
Okay, so I got that too. I got 3 things. I got 3 things that aren't going through. So what you need to do is manually run a sync, SYNK. And everybody knows you don't have to type BL master on and BL master off each and every time, right? You can use your arrow up and down keys to just feedback through it. Just in case anybody didn't know, you can just use your arrow up and down keys, and it'll remember that after it's the 3rd time you type it in. Every time you reboot, you got to do BL master on and then BL master off, and it runs through and does its thing.
I forget what code I typed in on the synchronizing,
Mhm.
but I typed in the wrong code and I put everything into my Brickall inventory, and I lost quite a bit of my Bricklink inventory. So I've really been.
Do you have a
Never.
do you have a master file anywhere?
No,
Like,
I ain't that smart.
do you make regular downloads of your Bricklink inventory into Brickstock?
No, I don't.
Okay, well that's okay. Well, a good thing for everybody is first of all, go and download Brickstock because it's the #1 tool you're going to use when you run a Bricklink store. When we talk about BrickSync, that only deals with selling on Bricklink and BrickOwl. But Brickstock is the #1 tool you're going to use. Even if you're a collector, you can utilize Brickstock and the Bricklink inventory of putting everything into the warehouse that that you have in your own collection, and then never open a store. You know, it's just in your inventory. But just remember that occasionally things do happen. Oh, okay, I just got an order. That's why. It started going through, and it was like 109 lots were being updated. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I've been having the same issue, but I'm on a Mac, so I use Brick Picker.
Okay.
It is I am semi-computer literate. I can figure out programs relatively quickly just by learning, messing with it, but it can be difficult. And I still have a lot of lots that do not sync up properly. But it's just, I just ignore it until I have to really get into it.
Well, it does have problems every once in a while where syncing does not occur, and that's something to look out for. Something you got to sort of track yourself.
I will say that Brick Picker is pretty nice. They only charge 1% and syncs every single time. The only problem is sometimes it syncs after like 4 or 5 minutes. Sometimes it's like 2 hours later. But luckily, I've never had an issue with someone buying the same items on BrickOwl and Bricklink and not having them.
How frequently do you sync between the two, or do you have it set to check?
It pretty much syncs after every order, but I go in there manually every time I add new parts. It's a little weird. I don't think it actually syncs up constantly. It might. I don't really know. Like I said, I'm semi-computer literate. But yeah. Any problem I have has been user error. I will admit that.
For some reason, it would not upload my trans light orange Clickets icon piece. So I now have a 4th one on the list.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
The one thing that does scare me about using Brickstock or Brickstore, whatever it's called now, and Bricklink is every single time I upload everything from Brickstock and back into Bricklink when I adjust my prices and just add different stuff, I get a 501 or 401 error every time where it times out. But everything always goes through every time.
Do you submit the errors when it happens?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Well,
it's
on
good. It's always good.
It's not on Brickstore, it's on Bricklink where it happens, but it just kind of times out, I guess. But it goes through every single time. And of course, I save it on a separate file just in case.
Yeah.
But it is terrifying when you're sitting there and all of a sudden, error.
How much stuff are you? Oh, it's free. It's because of the update. It's because of the price update. It's not because of uploading.
Right. I'm doing like everything all at once, so I probably need to like break it up a little bit. But
yeah. So we can talk about that. Well, that goes hand in hand with it. Is
right.
Sort of testing the system, and you shouldn't always test the system just to test the system.
Oh, I'm pushing it definitely.
Yeah. You gotta remember that other people are doing it too. I go through and I do it by category. So like I'll do all my other, starts with parentheses, the first thing listed when you advertise alphanumerically, you know, and then go through down. And each time I do one, you know, it's a little reward, like, woo, woohoo, I'm doing something different, and I'm breaking this repetition.
100 flames. Yes, I haven't sold a single one.
That's because only the ones with the clips on them sell.
The old ones.
Yeah.
Which, that reminds me, I got this set. I haven't been to Lego store in a year, and I walk away with only this. It has little clips on it. No, it doesn't. Never mind. Oh, well, whatever. Anyways. Right. You been uploading or buying or both? What have you been doing?
Little bits of both. So I got. I still haven't made a lot of progress on the Fortrex, but I'm starting. I had a bunch of stuff that came in this week that I put away.
Mm-hmm.
Some weird stuff.
Have you had the Fortrex in the parts in the store before?
No.
Half of it sells.
There's not a whole lot of stuff that I already added the big pieces before we even moved.
Right.
So I looked at the file, and there's like 200 lots to still upload, and of them, like 10 of them are new.
Yeah. Either those pieces are weird. They sell really quick, or they don't sell at all. It's been really weird for me because I found about 4 or 5 of them for like $40 at my Kroger Marketplace earlier this year. Mm-hmm. It's a weird set. Echo. Like the dark blue panels.
It won't focus on the BB-8.
Yeah, I saw that. Is that me?
Yeah, my camera stinks.
We got any more questions?
I had a lot of fun building the BB-8.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I built most of it last night. Needed some hardcore me time, so
yeah,
it was a perfect little thing.
I had quit building. I ran out of room. I had to just start packing up all my personal stuff for my store because I couldn't move in here.
Oh, yeah.
All packed up there, or most of it is.
Speaking of that, you've got a request from Just for Bricks to get a store/room tour.
When it's clean. Next year.
When I figured it all out.
Taylor Street, number 100. Room tour.
It's never going to be clean, man. You're always working.
Hey, I've had this clean 10 different times.
I can talk to you about stuff that I'm actually pretty stupidly, geekily excited about.
I probably feel the same way. Stanley.
This cart right here?
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous. The turn radius.
Nice. I got a cart. It's a little bit more heavy duty than that. There's a Pier 1 going out of business last year in town.
Yeah.
So I got like one display carts for like $20. But there's carpet in here, so it just kind of sits there in the middle of the room, and I just actually pick it every time.
Oh, you got to replace the wheels with those. If you go on Amazon, man, like I was looking for this chair, and like with every single chair, they were advertising these rollerblade tires that were built into the things for these.
Heck, I'm gonna go get the mountain bike tires off my bike downstairs.
That would probably work too.
Roll over the Lego.
Okay.
Tell you what, I bought a cart here when I bought the trailer and moved into my new location, and got to be more work trying to push the cart around. I can put the tray with my bags and everything in and just pick it, have it sit in my lap and around and pick quicker than I can pushing that cart around.
I'm already thinking of changing the cart and making it a couple inches taller, and then somehow mounting like a little tray up on the top of it to put a laptop on top of that. But have it so that the tray is slanted, so that or that it's possibly movable, so it doesn't get in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put a cup holder on there too. Xfinity 21 has a question. Oh Lord. My store is just under 30,000 parts, and I've had 235 orders in about 8 months. Is that a good ratio for a small store?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Depends.
But yes,
How much are you putting into your store? How often are you adding in new stock? Or are you just sitting and waiting until you get enough orders before you add in new?
yeah, there's a lot of dependencies. Like I was said in the last show, everybody puts their stuff into their store differently, and you know, different things sell, so you always have different quantities. So it all depends upon what you know, what you're putting in there, what you're pricing it at, what quantities you're doing. So we would have to know. We'd have to know the name of your store and stuff like that, and go hunt around there for a while to actually tell you.
Yeah.
Just for bricks. I do not have a cart name yet, but I will be making a YouTube video for that as well as the naming of the chair, which was my other awesome second investment. It's like a $300 chair that I picked up on Amazon for $75 out of their warehouse. Scratch and dent chairs.
Was the box scratch and dent, or did the chair have like a little mark on it? So like, oh, it's $75.
Oh no, the box was a little bit mangled in an area.
They were Bricklink sellers. Who cares about the box?
Yeah. This thing is awesome. No more squeakiness on it. So
Let's get a little. Speaking of good deals, I found a Minecraft Village, $85. Banged up box. Had a busted bag. Check the inventory. It's all good.
Nice find.
Pot out's like $250.
see, Life Brick Studio, what's going on, dude? Asks, should I transfer my store to an extra bedroom to consolidate it better, or leave it in a 10 by 24 basement section with 2 solid walls? I'm assuming that the bedroom is not 10 by 24, because that sounds almost like master bedroom size. Or maybe not 10 section, but the 24 section does. But what I'd say is maybe move it all to that spare bedroom, the whole thing, and then figure out what the hell you're going to do with the 10 by 24 space downstairs with only 2 solid walls, because I've only got 2 solid walls. The wall you're not seeing here and the wall you're not seeing there are solid. This wall right here is a temporary wall that's attached to the ceiling, to the I-beam up above. So you can make walls, and there's a temporary wall over there, and there's a temporary wall over in there. So you can make walls, you can make space. So just work on
Hey,
your flow.
baby.
Yes, sir.
Tell you what, I've changed up my store here a little bit, and I just give you a quick little tour of the back area, how I've changed things up.
Hell yeah.
Inspire us.
So
You're on the big screen.
we're in the
I
office right
gotta
now.
tell you though, one of the things I love about the way you have stuff set up is everything you have seems to be on wheels.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that
I'm on
table that you
wheels,
do
too.
build on all the time is on wheels, which is great. I wish I had access to something like that.
Yeah, my custom table.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, I used to have this back wall here with my stack-ons, and I took them all down, and I started up, moved them all over here a little bit where I could have my mock table yet in the shop. Let's see if I can get this to expand those some. I'm sorry, I'm like hugging everything and I can't get the picture to expand. So
Just pan back and forth.
and on top of the stack-ons is kind of my personal sets that I collector have. And we gotta get back to the sorting table when I get back up here.
God, it's a long wall.
So this is kind of my wall of stack-ons right now.
Please tell me
You're using stack-on like it's not a manufacturer's name, man.
Well, it's Acco Mills is what I buy.
It's like calling Mega Constructs Lego.
I actually need to contact them and see what it's going to cost to get a dealership or retailer price from them.
From Lego?
No, for Acco Mills to buy the stack-ons or the storage containers.
Okay.
And that might be something in the future that I might be willing to sell off my store. Oh, and there's my cart that I don't use.
Yeah, that cart doesn't seem like it's more like a shop cart.
Yeah, it's nice to have. If somebody had the feet to where they had to walk around and push it, it'd probably work better for them.
Yeah, it looks like it would be good for putting stuff away.
Correct.
But not really what you want for pulling because
it's in the way more than what it's good for, you know. So we're still at the frontier, heading towards the back of the shop. I added another row of a foot or 2 foot shelving down the center row, and I divided that in between the wall and the back wall.
I hate storing in those shoe boxes. Such a pain.
I tell you what, I don't know what else I do for the money wise.
Oh, I know.
What other kind of container would you buy?
Yeah, I know. That's the part I hate about it. It's like, you know, it's the best thing for it, but I hate having to go through and open them all back up. Instead of just...
I have not shoeboxed yet.
I got my shelves or whatever set up to where I got them 5 high. So when I actually got to pull a piece out of it, I can take 1, 2, or 3, whatever number it is, rather than have to pull the whole box out. Let's see if I can get back here now. Just pull it back some, flip the lid, and grab what you need.
Pro tip.
And
get the really cheap ass ones with all sorts of lead filled plastic rubberized top.
Don't eat it.
Don't chew on this, little Johnny.
And yeah, my center wall is pretty much empty so far.
That's good. You got room for growth.
Oh yeah, I'm planning on being able to get over million plus bricks into my store, if not better, for what I got.
Right.
And I know that you're well over that, Big B.
I'm not well. I'm not at 1.1.
Hey, I'm at like 92, so what?
Yeah, it took a while, man. Plus that whole thing with Doc was really, really helpful.
Oh yeah. Found someone going through the same thing, so might as well make a little competition.
But kind of got burnt out this summer, and I quit pushing like I was.
Jealous of the trailer.
And
by the way, Donnie says he likes the dragon swooping in on your.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hey, let
And
me
as
see
we
your
can-
let me see your scale.
Okay.
All right, so you did get a different brand. But
Yeah.
what's that on top there? The yellow piece.
Oh, the yellow piece is just
Oh, okay.
What's the brand name on that, or what's that thing called?
I couldn't even tell you. It's just got the size where you can dump into a bag, or otherwise dump into a container.
Just for Brick says it's a pill sorter.
Okay. But off Amazon, it was like $2. I can set my scale to 0 with that on it, so just start putting your bricks into it. Get everything weighed out. But when you get large quantities, or say somebody orders 100 plus out of your store of one piece, I use my scale. I ain't gonna sit and count them out all day.
If I order from you and I get 99, I'm gonna blast you.
So Donnie, ABC Bricks asks, how many memory settings does a scale have? And I just threw on there, ABS is affected, even though it's only slightly, it is affected by humidity. So the density of the element would change with the weather. So it could get heavier or lighter than what you had saved it in to your system. So you're better off not using the save function. Each and every time you use your scale, and this is coming from me, this isn't manufacturer's word on how you should use it, but if you want to ensure the most accurate possible way to use your scale, you have to remember the different amounts of dyes are used in each and every element. So you can't just punch in there, 1 by 1 plate, 1 by 1 tile, and assume that they're all going to have the exact same density. Different colors have different density, which means when you weigh them out in bulk, you will get different counts. So that's very important, and understanding density is important with when you're going to have a scale that does counting. If you're going to use a scale, you need to do it each and every time. And also, please realize that the transparent brick weighs, or transparent anything weighs, a lot more than the opaque or the solid. So
yeah, I know
white is one of the heaviest colors because they have to use so much dye to keep white.
I noticed that a lot when I was into mountain biking when I was actually in shape and not really lazy and married. Anything that's white weighed a lot more than the black parts. Like, you look at some brands that are white, they're going to be 30 grams more, which is, I'd say, a lot. 30 grams is a lot just for that amount. But
that's an ounce.
Paint is just a lot more dense.
Or healthy ounce.
Yeah.
And one other thing, if you're using a scale, whatever parts you count out, say you're throwing on 20 at a time, count out 5. Throw 5 on at one time. It's not hard to count 5. Double check your scale, make sure it's accurate. Don't always assume that it's going to be right, because you're going to be wrong then.
Yeah. So what I do is I count out 25, 30, whatever, put them on there, tell them to wait for all movement to stop, because little vibrations make a difference too on a scale with those type of intricacies.
Yeah.
Then hit the number. All right, very carefully press the number. Then while I'm waiting for that, I've already counted out another 20, because I want to count out enough that tiny little amounts will make a difference, and I just throw them on there and see if the scale makes the correct measurement. If it does all of that, then I weigh out the quantity. So don't think of the scale as something that's going to help you count to 20 a lot. It's more something that's going to help you count to 100, 200, 5,000. But at the same time, you don't really want to weigh up to 5,000 because there is the small, even though it's very minute, differences in the weights. The more that you add, you've got to know where your basically your standard deviation is for the maximum amount you should weigh at a time. I would not weigh more than 1,000 of anything, much more than 500 of anything at any one time. I mean, my scale is accurate down to the 10,000th of a gram, which is a lot more than, it goes a lot more in depth than other people, but I'm also a big nerd. But you just got to realize that, and if you get a cheap, like you can't use a scale that's for,
Wait,
anything other than you need to be looking in the scientific or the industrial section. So you want something with that minute increments.
El Paso Bricks asks, Great South to use a scale. I just wanted to point out, I have 92,000 parts in my store. I don't have big enough lots to have to use a scale. So I got still a scale from Staples. So it's good enough to weigh my shipments. But I've counted out everything. Yeah. And I do have like 2,500 of these things. And I actually counted them all out because I was at my in-laws and I was bored. But no, I don't use scale.
If you live near a Lego store and you have access to the Pick-a-Brick wall, and if you're me, that's when you get it.
Yeah, that's where that was from.
Well, and that comes in handy too when you buy from other stores, when you buy a large quantity to make sure they're accurate. Depending on the elements you buy, if you're shorted 2-3 bricks, that's going to cut into your overcost,
Right, but it's good to know what you get.
Correct.
Yeah. So if you go and buy, I recently went out and bought 20,000 1x1 red plates. Okay. Because the price was right, and it was a half a penny for a 1x1 red plate. I chanced it, and I got the correct amount. Actually got about 3% more than I had anticipated, but it allowed me to know exactly how many I was getting in. KC Metro bricks, I think I'm down to like 8,000, so not necessarily a lifetime of red plates. I've gotten into the mosaic area. And I'm very happy to be able to provide that service to some of the mosaic artists. There is a tiny amount of profit on the mosaics, but it allows me to have a lot of colors available for my own collection and my own doings. So we should check on this. I have 31. I got 31 flavors of 1x1 plates, literally.
What do they taste like?
They taste like plastic. And most of them are in the thousands of range. But for instance, I've got like 2 black plates.
Actually, let's see.
No, mosaics are
8,907 red plates. So
8,000 red plates.
Not bad for starting at 20,000.
Yeah. No, not at all. Plus, what did you say? A penny or half a penny each?
Half a penny each, 7 cents for a plate.
From Antarctica?
No, it was from Czech Republic.
Well, same thing.
No. There is a factory in the Czech Republic.
Ooh.
That's the difference.
Right. That is right.
Yes, you can reasonably purchase Lego in bulk from places where you know there is a Lego factory if you trust it. Now, I would not go and say China is a place where you could go and trust it, even though there's 2 major factories there. But go to the tried and true places that the Europeans already go to, is what my advice is on all of that with Bulk International. That's all I got to say on that.
Pretty sure the workers at the China factory walk out with cargo shorts full of just stuff.
I'm sure there's some sort of security because they know that everybody wants to have a piece of something. And that happens. I'm not saying that's just for the Chinese. That's worldwide. Everybody wants to get an extra piece of something.
Oh, yeah.
So that occurs.
I just want one of the marble bricks. I always like those.
If I had a choice of anywhere of getting a friend in the business, it would definitely be Mexico City factory. If I could figure out the Mexico City factory, and I'm talking to you, you know who I'm talking to. I would flip, because Mexico City factory does the superhero sets. All right, China might get the CMFs and Friends and all that soft hair stuff, and some of the polybags now. But Mexico City supposedly has the superhero lines, so.
Yeah. The more you know.
The more you Lego know. Big B, do you use Brickstock to back up your inventory? Yes.
Yes.
Do you do it weekly? Yes. Or each time I make a change? No. I do it weekly. I probably should do it nightly. I need a programmer. So if you are already familiar with the Bricklink API, already familiar, and you want to earn some money and possibly have a head spokesmodel pimping your product as you sell it to other people as well, let me know. I would love to just have that thing automated, like, and it should be. There should be a way for us to say, download my inventory every night and send it here. Yeah, and by the way, KC Metro, but Bricks already says, pro tip, if you are running BrickSync between your OWL and Bricklink stores, it automatically creates a save file periodically.
Well, what if you have a Mac?
You still should be able to read that BSX file.
Yeah.
You should be running X Windows.
It actually does it. Or BrickPack. I don't know what it is. Is BrickPicker the investment thing, or is that?
Yeah, BrickPick's the investment. But BrickPacker. No, he's gone. Our Mac expert. Donnie, we are going to be addressing and having a special feature next week just for you. And everybody else, of course, of what to do when kids or grown-up hands get in the bins and how to easily make changes to inventory and price at the same time. Unfortunately, that's the only thing you're limited to is inventory and price. It would be a beautiful thing if you could make a change to, say, percentage off and sales on there. Because one of the biggest problems with having a Bricklink store and trying to use sales is the system can only take so much, and you can really only do about 500 lots at a time safely. Some people say 1,000, but I limit myself to 500 because if it fails in the middle of the SQL query that's updating those, you got to figure out where it failed. There's no log file that you can go and check. That happened to you?
I do like 4,000 lots at a time.
Really?
Or however
it's never not gone through fully?
As I told you earlier, it has an error, but it goes through, and it is terrifying.
All right. I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Oh, you shouldn't, and I shouldn't either. But let's see. Yeah, 92,000 items, 4,000 lots, 140. Yeah, I do the entire thing every time.
Does anybody use Linux? I would love to start being able to use Linux actually here, but Mevitz says that he runs his website off of an Amazon server, and he plans to put BrickSync on it and it is Linux. So, KC Metro also says, don't trust it.
Don't do it.
Can't trust it. All right, so we have actually some comments from last week. Where the hell?
Well, I'm about to start hacking. I'm going to mute it real quick.
All right, go ahead. Brick Arena asks, splitting minifigures into parts. Have you done any analysis onto what the X return is on doing it this way? Do you find that you get stuck with a lot of parts that no one wants? Seems that there are some specialist prints, etc., that are unlikely to sell. And that is exactly correct. So one of the times you fall into this category is when you have an overprint that goes from the torso to the legs, and the torso is cool, and it can do a deal without the legs. You have a good tendency to get screwed with legs. Sometimes a double-sided head, when a double-sided head isn't covered by hair, but is only covered by a specialized headpiece, such as the Ninjago double-sideds. And here is a tried and true rule of splitting a fig, or also going full Monty on the fig, which is to take a torso and rip the arms and hands off of it as well. That's my term, but you can call it what you like. So the tried and true method that I learned, and these all go back to old school Clutch and Clutch videos for his training that he did for people as well. If you have a fig with 4 pieces, the sale of any 2 of them, which means the 2 lowest priced ones, should equal the price of the complete fig. If that does not work out that way, you don't part it out. So, in other words, if you want to avoid getting stuck with a lot of parts and having that money staying in your store and not selling, is you basically have to choose wisely. And any 2 pieces need to equal the price of the entire fig. Mm-hmm. So that would really limit you. For myself, what I do is I take a fig, and instead of running the 6-month average on it, I run the available average on it, and then I part it out, and I run the price on that. And if the price of all pieces of that fig is not $1 or more than the available average of that fig, it doesn't get parted out, and it's not even considered for the part out. And if it's close to that, I look at how long the part has been out there, and if the fig is on the rebound, because that will happen with figs as well, is figs have the highest drop-off rate of anything, meaning that they lose their value most quickly, but they also come back. But it usually takes 3 or 4 years, really, for a fig to start coming back. Mm-hmm. So think about that, and also set what your personal return is. So if your personal return on sets is going to be 2x, 3x, 2.5x, 4x, and you should set your level high, because you've got to value the amount of time that you put into this, because the amount of time that you put into this takes you away from what you actually got into LEGO for in the first place, and you got to remember that as well. Running a Bricklink and Brickdial store is not something easily gone into, and something that you just want to jump right into. You really want to consider it, because there's a lot of crap out there. This show is solely meant for trying to help you guys do it the right way, meaning that you're not going to undermine the economy of Bricklink, because it is a very unstable beast. And when all the changes that were made to Bricklink like 2.5, 3 years ago, whenever it was, it changed the whole game, and the price dropped dramatically.
Yeah, it'd be a great example of the parting out the minifigures. I would say it'd be the Big Bang Theory. You had a lot of torsos that were highly demanded, but you parted them out. The torso was worth more than what you could buy the whole fig for on the people that are on the cutting everybody. You take the hair, the feet. You know, you got 3 pieces in there, or 4 pieces, excuse me. And I parted everything out when I got it. I'm still sitting on a few different elements, but you sell the torso and you pay for 1 fig, if not better. But if
Yeah,
it's a,
if you know that something is going to sell, okay, good example of this. And then we're going to have to call the show, and I'll give you, since it's gone now, I can talk about how cool it was. Rocket Boy. So the torso on Rocket Boy was selling at a 6-month average of $4.50, 3 months after the series was released. So you could go and feel for Rocket Boy, pull out his torso, part out that fig, put it in your store, and it would most likely sell, and you would still have left over a cool head, little kid legs, a modified plate, and the rocket. So, yeah. But take that into consideration. For people like me that did all of that, that fig is going to end up being, in a couple few years, a high dollar fig.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be honest, I messed up on that. It was before I went into the Bricklink inventory or whatever to see what the torso was. And that'd be just a gray torso or something like that. Then saw it was decorated. And then I was running around the stores trying to find just that fig when I was hitting the stores, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing is when people are struggling to sell minifigs on one marketplace, it's always good to go and find another marketplace for them. So, yeah, if you're not selling crap on Bricklink for your figs because it is so flooded right there, go and try to sell them on eBay for a little while. Take them off Bricklink, let the economy attempt to recover over there, and sell them over on eBay, or try to get and sell them on Amazon or someplace else. Because if you want to take your stuff out of that flooded water to try to help it recover some.
Yeah, because if you sell on Bricklink, sell on Brick Outlet, maybe you have the same thing on eBay, you're going to, let's call it 2.5 different markets instead of just your one Bricklink market. Or let's just call it 3 markets. Your Bricklink, your Brick Owl, and then your eBay. And completely different buyers in each one, I think. I mean, it's just, I'm not trying to say anything bad about Brick Owl, but Bricklink is like the more educated. I want this element ID. I want the 3069D whatever in this color. They know everything about it. Brick Owl is like, I saw this cool minifigure for my kid. That'd be neat. I'll buy it. And then eBay is just like, oh, cool minifigs. I mean, it's just completely different. And that's what I did with some of my minifigures. They weren't moving at all. Moved them over there on the eBay, and I sold half of them already. Like, it's just, it's weird.
eBay is a much better place for selling minifigures than Bricklink because of the education of the buyer on Bricklink.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I know my Sensei Clutch is basically selling all the figs over on eBay. Yeah, over on eBay right now because it's such a better market over there. You know, and you can sort of create your own thing. Where on Bricklink, man, it is. On eBay, you can't go over to a price list, see who's the lowest priced person, and mark yours 1 cent lower. Right? It's really easy to do that in Bricklink, and it's easy to scratch out the competition like that. And it also is a way to nosedive the economy.
Yep.
So be smart. If you're going to be that type of person, be smart and realize that you need to include a lot of things and know what you're setting as far as your settings, because if you just go in there and try to compete with and I see this all the time, is a new store gets in there, they're really anxious, and they go and try to mess with the folks over on in Europe and try to compete with the sellers in Europe. And it's just like, dude, they go to the Lego factory and buy this stuff. Like, they're not parting these things out. They're going to buy like 2 kilos of this, please.
That's crazy. I did want to say one thing about the party out minifigures. Well, I have an example that I was pretty upset once I opened it. Is It's one of the Ninjago ones. I forget his name. That guy.
Lloyd.
Yeah. I was like, that is a cool hoodie. His jeans are cool. I'm going to just part out the minifig. His shirt is barely covering his belt on one half of the leg.
I left him together.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to leave them together. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
And the reason why was because of the eyes, though.
The eyes.
Those glowing green eyes.
Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere.
And yeah, that's.
It'll be gone. Once the movie comes out, all my Ninjago movie figures will be gone. I never buy boxes. I did that once. I would grab a handful, stick them in the store. I don't buy them again.
Yeah, if you're gonna do CMFs, you go and you buy them when Toys R Us has them 2 for $5, or after they're off the market and they're going someplace for $1.65. Like $3 for a $4 minifig is not something you should be jumping at to go throw in your Bricklink store.
Right.
If you're hoping, if your personal, I'm gonna loop back to this and then close the show. If your personal part out point is 2x, 2.5x, 3x, 4x, you should hold that line with everything. Okay. If you want to bring in that level, you need to hold that line on everything, and you need to be specific on which figs you're going for. Then, minifigs are not a 3x game at full price, not anywhere close to it. So, when people go in and try to do that in the beginning, and they go and buy a fig for $4 and they throw it on sale, parted out or in pieces for $4.50, you are wasting your time.
Yeah. And
you are destroying the market. So try not to be a downer dude, but there's a lot of people out there that they want a freaking sale for attention.
Yeah.
With that said though, Big B, how many stores have you gone to where they're paying $4 and they're selling the fig with all the accessories for $2.50 on their store?
Oh, that's because of other things.
Okay, I'm misreading something, or
I assume it's swindly, but I don't know. If it's brand new, there's got to be a reason why you're getting them for that price. There are some people that are able to get case sales, and they'll go out and buy 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 cases of CMFs, and that's how they get that price on them. They essentially have made a deal with somebody who runs a store of one kind or another who's able to make purchases from Lego or the Lego group, and they get more, and then they've made a sub-sale to that person who sells Lego. That's what happens a lot, is people, they know a manager of a Target or something like that, or a whatever, and or even a who is it? Mills Creek. Mills Creek sells Lego, so like they know somebody at Mills Creek, and they're like, yeah, order me 100 cases of these things because Mills Creek happens to get cases of CMFs for $100. So that's how they're able to do these things. Just think about those type of things before you go into it and try to I'm going to take out that big guy, because you got to know where the big guy got it from. Because I don't go and try to take out the big guy.
Or they go to Walmart, they grab a CMF case and they scan it, and it comes up as what, $3.99, and no one knows any better.
So Xfinity says, well said, Big B, sale just for the attention. That does happen a lot.
Yeah, you're just hurting yourself if you try to undermine the price. I mean, it's just, if you want to stand out, be creative with your store. Not necessarily with sales, but get a bunch of different stuff. Or, I don't know, concentrate on one thing. It's just, you got to have a thing.
You got to have a thing, but you also got to remember that it is your selection that really, really, really drives your sales. Not just the quantity, but also the number of lots that you have available really drives a lot for sales. And if you want to try to focus on something, that's good. Just don't over focus on it.
Because I think you said on another stream, if you focus on Star Wars sets, you got one crowd, and that's the Star Wars crowd.
Yeah.
And looking at all that gray gets kind of boring.
Yeah. And when you nose drive your price, that makes it very difficult for you to grow your lot sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in business just to feed yourself until Monday, you're in the wrong business, because Lego is a long-term thing. If you're trying to do quick, go on, sell minifigs on eBay, that's your place.
Hey, I saw some Chima yesterday. I was super excited about that. I had that since like 2 years ago.
I think I bought some Chima yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Now, I actually bought, I think it was like 1,000 of those wolf heads.
Oh, yeah.
A few months ago for less, or maybe like 1.5 cents each. Those things, like the person had like 30,000 of those things, and I watched those things disappear for a penny and a half.
Yeah.
You just sit there and keep refreshing on the price guide.
Mm-hmm.
Like questioning yourself, like, oh, I bought 500. Is that enough? Like, oh my God, like that's probably way too many.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see like a sale of like 10,000 of them. Ooh, okay, well, what else could people be using this for?
The furries, man, they're weird.
No, I think because they were already uncolored, so there was no printing on them whatsoever, and it was just LVG. It had the availability for people to print whatever they wanted on those. And with the holidays coming up, people might want to
a lot better without the pink, purple, light blue, and without printing. Like if you just had like the white, gray, browns, that'd actually be pretty awesome.
Yeah. Although there are some of those Chima heads that are pretty cool, like that dark brown gator one with the metallic jaw on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Lego missed an opportunity with Killer Croc on that one.
Yeah. We can discuss some of the other things that you can focus in on in your store if that's something you're into, and that goes along with the sell what you have interest in, and build what you buy. So it all goes along with that. So if you have these little Lego fetishes, so and so, like mono figs, that's a freaking thing, man. People are way into freaking mono figs. Because that is their color chart. Or if you have a color chart and you do this or that, we're definitely going to do episodes like that and discuss that type of thing. I would much rather actually talk about that type of stuff than try to lecture people on how to price things and stuff like that. It's just because it is CMF selling season, it's one of those hashtag the more you know. Like if you think you're really doing great because you just sold the hair off of your Ninjago CMF, your lowest in the US, and you're gonna sell the hair, and that's probably it. That's probably the only piece, because it's all unique hair for Ninjago.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. This is Brick Willett. Go check out his store, brickwillett.com.
Good night.
This is Great South Bricks. Do you have a URL?
GreatSouthBricks.com.
GreatSouthBricks.com.
Dude, I'm on top of it.
You got to do that, man. You've got to do that. That's like last pro tip right there for you. You're going to be on YouTube or Instagram and have a Bricklink store. You should have already gone out and purchased whatever name you're going to call yourself on there. .com.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hashtag learn from Clutch. He should have named himself Bricks of the Dollar from the beginning, because that's what we're known as. But he's Chris. All right. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll have new guests, different guests, these guests as well. If you want to be a guest, if you want questions answered, ask them in the comments. Send me a message down below here so I can keep track of them, just like I was able to read Brick Arenas from last week. And also we'll have other people on. Hopefully I'm going to get Brainy Bricks on to talk about some stuff that he does, non-related to the sale of the store, but related to software and equipment, so that you can make your videos better on YouTube and present them to people who are interested in them better as well. So that's what I'm not. That's what I want to do with the show is try to the overall package thing, not just a hey, how do I sell shit? All right.
They go online.
See y'all next week.